Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Miss Iffy, and today we're going to talk about Put a Ring on It, Season 4, Episode 2. This episode, we continue where we left, where the three couples are sitting down with Dr. Stacey Johnson. What really confuses me is that all the other couples agree that Dumbbell, on a serious level, Dunbar is controlling. His behavior is controlling. I'm not sure what he's like behind closed doors, but these two just seems to be giving us a show. I feel like they are dressed to the T. I must say they're both beautiful. Not my type, but Chance is a very, very beautiful lady. Let's get it out there, right? She's what you call the boss lady in this generation. So Dr. Johnson tells him that he's controlling. Chance doesn't believe that. All the other couples agree with it, that he took control of her date and his behavior is like father-like. Chance, typical, just uses words like king. I mean, come on, we're not even in like 2 minutes. Give a rest. Like, we just overusing and abuse the word king and queen. Please give it a rest, man. Because behavior you're displaying, it is not a king like, and it's not a queen like. Okay? Behavior says it all. Words mean nothing without an action. And so far, Dumbbell, you have not proven that you're a king. You seem to have a lot of issues that you need to deal with. You want somebody who's submissive, somebody who's going to be a housewife to you. And in order for you to get a woman who's going to provide, to be submissive to you, who's going to be the housewife, give you that kids, rub your feet, it's not possible in this generation. I'm sorry, not in this Western life where everybody has a job as well as take care of home and a child. I mean, come on. I hope you got money to pay that woman for all the therapy that she's going to need. I just don't think Dunbar mentally has got what it takes to find that queen, as he says it, that he's looking for, the housewife that's going to submit to him. I just don't think he needs therapy. He needs to figure out what's his issues. Anyway, his woman Chance says, oh no, he's a king, he's my man. I don't see any of the problems that you guys are talking about. And I like him being a daddy. I was like, girl? Oh no. Imagine calling him a daddy when you have a daughter. That's just a turn off. A turn off. Anyway, we made a clarification that so this couple, she declines on going on a second date with her date. She find him like she needs a man. And Dunbar once again takes control and says he wants his queen to go on a date a man who's going to provide him a competition. I don't know what it is. That is a mentality for a man who's in his 30s and his 20s. That is how they talk competition. But once you're in your 40s and you want to have a competition for your woman, nah, mate, nah, that is not it. You shouldn't, no, absolutely not. And according to him, there isn't many of them there like him, successful black men with no felony. Maybe in America, but not the rest of the world. Then again, our British men, black British men don't have that much record at the moment either. Hey, I'm sorry. Not all black British men are like that. We just got a bit of shakadan at the moment. You know, few men who lost in the street and who's in their 40s and behaving like they're 20. But anyway, so this turn in this episode is the men's turn to go on a date. So Dunbar goes on a date with Crystal. But before they go on a date, Chance explains to Dunbar that they're not going to set much of a boundary. But she starts having a conversation with the fact that, oh, this couple, please comment. It cannot be just me who find them. Everything they putting on so far, I think it's just for the camera. They are just here to play and slay, which is exactly what they're doing. They come to dress to the T and just talk about the surf. I do not know what their issue is, because she seems to say she's providing everything that he wants in her own time. And yeah, I don't get it. But we'll discover later on a bit and on the next episode. So she goes on a date. He puts her favorite clone and she's like playing around with him as always. I feel like she plays with him too much that there is truth to it. Things like, oh, you put in my favorite clone to go on a date with somebody else. You know, why would you do that? And she says it with a smile and jokes around it. But woman to woman, I know deep, unless she just come into play with that camera and she's an actress, there's some kind of truth to it. People do not say things like that unless there's truth to it. She tells him that he better come back before the street lights turn on, or he will be sleeping outside with his blanket. She would get his duvet cover on, etc., and leave it outside, and just laughs about it again. The thing she says for a joke, I think deep down she is feeling a bit insecure, which is normal. But because she jokes a lot. Nobody makes that much joke about stuff unless there's something to it. That's my opinion from what I watched from this couple. So far, they have not given us anything other than, oh, we came here to play. He goes on a date with Crystal. Crystal's stunning. Really like the fact that Chance greeted her like a real woman, gave her a hug, welcomed her to her home nicely, and then she goes and puts a show on by sitting on Dunbar's lap. Yeah, I didn't get it. Telling him, how this is a good man. That's all I hear is that he's a good man, he's my king, he's this. Girl, stop it. Please, let's discover what your issues are. Okay? And get the help you need from, unless you came here for the 5 minutes fame. Stop wasting our time and the Dr. Stacey's time, because, girl, seriously, I've got a feeling he's going to take so much out of this and he's going to outgrow her if she continues with this type of like showing us, putting a show for us. Anyway, Crystal's very beautiful. Dunbar says how he likes the way she dressed and that she's not revealing too much, that she's leaving a bit of to the imagination, i.e. his controlling behaviours coming in. They go on a date. Very nice date. They seem to got a lot of comment. She's a minister. She likes to go into church. And she's got her career going on. She wants to get married, have kids. He really liked that. I must say he really enjoyed her date. He thought they in line of everything that they want out of life. and their values in line with it. He find that attractive. I think he should go on another date with her for sure. He was really, really impressed with her and what she had to say. He actually says this was the best date he ever been on. He loved her soul. Ooh, chance you got a competition. Yeah, you definitely have to go on a second date with her. What else happened on that date? No, that was it. Uh, yeah, and then the end, the doctor chooses them to be the first couple where she has one-to-one with, which I'm really glad, because if they left us episode 3 or 4 without Dr. Stacy sitting down with these two fools, I don't think they would get much out of the show. It was just like nothing so far other than a show from these couple. I don't get. We haven't found their real issue yet, but I hope we will do in the next episode. She sits down, and before they sit down, she says they have a conversation, and Chance wants Dunbar to be patient with her. And they sit down with the doctor, and she asks, she goes, look, I don't get what's the real issue, because Chance is saying that she provides you everything you need. You want her to be submissive, blah, blah, blah. We've got the deal. She says she does it, and you're saying these are what you need. What is it? Tell us what is the issue. Thank God she said it, because we all want to know what is the issue in this relationship, because it doesn't seem like there's any issue. He says how he finds that sometimes she does not ask him for his advice. She goes to her father for advice when she wants to move, when she wants to write her book, what invest in, etc. She goes to her father for his opinion, which is understandable. Her father raised her. He's been a big part of her life. And any woman who has a good father or father figure in her life, you should be asking for your father's advice before you ask your husband's advice. Well, not a husband. A husband might be different later on in life. But as a girlfriend, you should definitely be going to your father. The main leading man in your life is your father until he's put a ring on it. So, yes, Chance, continue doing that until you seriously walk down the aisle with this guy. I wouldn't personally be asking him. If my father was alive, rest his soul, I'll be asking him first. She finds that, and she doesn't agree with his opinion at all. She's like, no, that's not true. So the doctor asks him, like, what is the real issue? Because she's saying this, and you're like, what is it? So she asks Chance to leave the room so she can have sit down with one-to-one, which is what all of us wanted to know, because we want to know what's the real issue. And this is what he says, I think, so far. Obviously, he's like, oh, he finds it. He doesn't know how to deal with a strong woman who got it all. And the doctor really asks him, that's what he says in light. But she asked him what is the real issue, because she can see that he's hurting. He's been through a lot in his life, in his past relationship. So this is the time where she's going to give him one-to-one therapy to discover what is his issue. And that's it about them. We'll find out next week. We saw the preview. Yeah. I really don't. I must say, I really like them, that they come, they represent themselves, but for the purpose of what the show is, I don't see what their issue is. Other than they came here to promote themselves for that 5-minute camera time. But according to him, he's like ex-professional athlete, so he doesn't need that either. Yeah, maybe he feels out of place now that he doesn't have football, and it's like, oh, what else can I do in life? and find a beautiful woman and who's up for the camera time. I hope I'm wrong. Oh, and that's it about them. Let's find out what's their real. All right, now let's get into Jasha and Joya. So he is 40. Is his name Jasha? Jashaya? Yeah, like I don't get it. But anyway, let's just call him Jashaya and Joya. That's her name. So she's 37 and he is 40. And she wants to get married. He's not ready. They've been dating for 2 years. So we found out on during the discussion with the doctor that her date, she said, what was confusing that suddenly she start turning the table on her man and start blaming on him the fact that they didn't set boundaries before they went on the date. She said she was like worried about all these little things she was doing during the date, whether it will have consequence, you know. So I didn't get it. He said, no, boundary is fine with me. Go and enjoy yourself on a date. And suddenly you start twisting it and saying during your date you were worried about what you would do. If I touch his hand, will he be upset? Girl, you did not look like on that date that we watched last week you cared any of that nonsense. Girl, you used last week's date to wind your man up, to get a reaction. And unfortunately, you wanted to play the pity card, and he didn't fall for it. He did not fall for it. Okay? All he said to you is like, what will happen if I did the same thing? And that's all. He didn't fall for it, and now you start blaming on him, saying how you're worried all these little things. Didn't look like you were worried anything when you were laughing and giggling and like wiping this guy's mustache, beard as you call it. You guys, mustache? Oh yeah, mustache is where, here you go, so the beard. Anyway, doesn't look like you cared about it, but apparently she was overthinking of maybe she might do something wrong. We didn't see that, so yeah, girl, no. He's another couple that loves the camera action time. Not sure so much of him. She does, for sure. I must say, she is stunning. She's stunning. I love the apps. I'm going to work out to get the apps. I look at her and I admire her. She's stunning. I must give that. And I feel like she uses a lot of her looks when she's playing around. She knows it. She knows she's got it, but just wants a reaction. But this man ain't going to give you a reaction. Trust me. So as we know, he's not ready to get married or have children. He just wants to live his life as it is right now. And of course, he's 40 and he's a man. He's not worried about clock ticking while she's 37, worried about that. So during their discussion with the feedback from the date, she says she was worried about these little things. And she says how she rubbed the guy his mouth when he had food on his beard. And yeah. And the doctor asked, how does that Jashaya feels about it? And he was like, obviously I had a bit of my ego come up, but I had to control and check that. I thought, well done. Really, really enjoyed that. And yeah, obviously they asked her if she wants to go on a date with Carl again. And of course, no, come on. She does not find that man attractive. She was just playing, giving us performance on that date. So she can go home and tell all about it to her man and see if she can get a reaction. Anyway, during this date, he goes on a date with Selena. Selena's stunning. Very stunning. I think she was 35 and they went to, yeah, they're going out for a date, for a meal. It's really cute. When Selena knocked the door, Joya was very respectful. She said hi. And yeah, I really liked that. Like she didn't display any jealousy or anything like that. She was like, whatever kind of behavior into it. You know, she wasn't disrespectful. Really, really liked that. And yeah, he goes on a date with Selena. They got a lot in common. She's laid back. She's not in a rush to get married. She wants to take her time. They both love traveling. They love meditating. Yeah. She speaks, she's trying to learn to speak Spanish, and he speaks a bit of Spanish. He was really impressed. He thought she was beautiful and that they've had a lot in common. He thought she was a good match for him. He talked about his relationship during the date and the fact that his Mrs. Joya is ready to get married and he's not ready for that. Like that honesty and transparent, he expressed things that is happening in his relationship. Yeah, I definitely think he needs to start dating Selena more so he can figure out what's going on in his relationship. I really, really, really cannot wait for Dr. Stacey Johnson to sit down with this couple because I don't get what their issues other than the fact that one wants to get married and have kids and the other doesn't. Like, I want to know what's stopping him. Because Selena said she doesn't care whether she has a kids, children or not. And he really liked her saying that. So maybe he just doesn't want to have children and doesn't know how to tell her. Maybe he just wants to live that bachelor life, carefree, catch that flight whenever he wants, no responsibility. We will never know. But the clock is ticking for Joya and she's ready to get married and have another kid. So that's it. Enough from this couple. I hope we see more of them, more depth of what really going on in this couple's relationship. So let's talk about Ricky and Catherine. So we find out during the last date, Catherine's date bought her flowers. She decided to put the flowers in their bedroom on the bedside where Ricky sleeps so he can remember to buy her flowers. Catherine, darling, I'm telling you right now, that's not how it works. I can guarantee you he's not going to do that. Seeing that flowers, knowing that another man bought it for you. Mm-mm. It's this, no, that's not going to work. If you want him to buy you flowers, you need to communicate with him and let him know that's your love language and you appreciate those little things that he does for you. We come to find out that the reason why Ricky hasn't been doing all these little small romance stuff is because he pays the bills in his household and that he's been so busy taking care of all the bills and everything else that he realized that he's missing to do the little small things for her. She says that he's not romantic because the fact that they've been friends last 10 years that he's forgetting to do that she needs these little things to feel loved. That's not her words, but that's my words. That's what she's missing. And we also find out that actually they live with his mother in his house, lived by his mother, his sister, and her 4 kids, and her brother comes around regularly. Catherine finds that sometimes when they have an argument, everybody else gets involved. Yeah, no, that's not how marriage and relationship should work. You need to solve your own problem and have your own discussion. Shouldn't be getting involved, your mum and your sister, in your problems like that. Ultimately, unless you're planning to live with them forever, then yeah, it's just I just don't agree with it. So no, no, no. So during date, Catherine, during discussion, the feedback about the date, Catherine's asked, "Will you tell us about your date?" She said she really enjoyed going out with Mike. I think that was his name was, and he was a good listener, which is what she lacks in her relationship with Ricky. He communicated well, and the conversation was flowing. They asked her, would she like to go out on a date with him? She said no, because he reminds of her of Ricky. He just came out from divorce and he has a kid, and she just didn't want to deal with that because she's already dealing with that in her relationship. So Ricky goes out on a date with Shirley, I think her name was. Yes, Shirley. I don't think I've ever seen a black woman named Shirley from the US. Maybe there are a few British ones, but anyway, she was stunning. And actually, I'm going a bit too far with the stunning. Let's go just like attractive, okay? I didn't get the tattoo on the back. We leave that alone. Let's leave that alone. I didn't, yeah, just didn't find it attractive. It was like 2 holes on the side. Yeah, it's okay. I'm sure it meant so much to her. And great tattoo, by the way. Oh, sorry. I need to stop lying. Yeah, no. I could not take my eyes off that tattoo as they showing us on our back, her back. Also, girlfriend, why are you dressed? You're about to go to the club. Great, buddy. Love the hair. Beautiful lady, but yeah, I felt like she was dressed. She was about to go to the club. And that's what actually his sister said. And yeah, she's a redhead, lovely. Ricky finds her very attractive. Actually, I want to get back to the point where I said, Catherine, who let you out the house last week, date like that, to your date? And Catherine actually said it herself. She said she looked crazy last week going on her date to go and grab a smoothie. And here's this chick showed up dressed to the nine, about to go to the club and go on a date with her man. Anyway, during their date, we find out that obviously Ricky find her very attractive. And we also find out that what Catherine and Ricky's issues are. I must say in this episode, I was really, really impressed with these two because we're really about to find out what their issue is. Like, we discovered more of who they are, what their problem is than the other two. Which is really interesting. Now I understand. These are a realistic couple out of the 3 of them. There might be hope for it. If not, then his DM's going to be full. The fact that he's paying all the bills and like they're going to be there's a few baby mamas out there who'll be like, oh, Ricky could be their next scapegoat. I'm only joking, Ricky. But yeah, we find out that what they argue about, his ex-wife works in an entertainment industry. And sometimes what he finds himself is that he goes to look after the kid at his ex-wife's home. And sometimes she has to work too late. When she works too late, he intends to stay over there and sleep on a sofa in order to look after the child. I thought that was a great parenting. No problem. his date that she was like, "Excuse me?" And he went, "No, no, no, nothing happens. I sleep on a sofa. It's just I understand she works late, and sometimes that's what happens. I could be going over there just to look after the kids until such time, and then she calls and says, my schedule is overrunning, so I intend to stay there." And Catherine finds that an issue. I'm going to be honest with you. He has his own house, okay, lived by his sister and his mother. Wouldn't it be better for his child to be staying with him? Wouldn't it be better if the ex-wife dropped the child at his house? So not only the child will be spending more time with his family, grandma, auntie, their cousins, than him going over there and staying over there and sleeping on the sofa. I didn't get it. I don't understand what's the issue. I would accept if it was, there isn't going to be many women out there who's going to accept that concept of, oh yeah, do you know what, I'm going to sleep on a sofa with my ex-wife house to look after my child. I say great for him being a great father and being involved and hands-on and helping out his ex-wife. Great. But I think the boundary has to be, he needs to bring the child into his home where he has more support and love to give to that child. It makes sense than him actually staying over these exes. Yeah, but anyway, he enjoys these dates, and so that's it. We see Dunbar crying at the end of this episode, so we're really going to figure out next week what is his real issue. Are we really going to see what the problem is between Dunbar and Chance's relationship is? Like, so that's exactly what I want to know. What the problem is, this relationship going on. So Jashaya and Joya, I don't get it. That couple, they here just to score a point of each other, maybe. I'll be really disappointed next week if Dunbar does not go out on a second date with Crystal. But the preview, they showed us next week they'll all be going on a date with their ex. So bring on the drama. Well, anyway, my name is Miss Iffy again. Thank you very much for watching my review and opinion of Got a Ring on It. Season 4, Episode 2. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment so I can hear your opinion, please. Thank you very much.